In the United States, millions of people now spend most of their day sitting. Not just a few hours here and there, but 8, 9, sometimes 10 or more hours, sitting at a desk, sitting in front of a screen, sitting in a car during a commute, and then sitting again in the evening to unwind. The chair has become one of the most familiar places in daily life, so familiar that many people barely notice how much time they spend in it. The body notices, though. Even when the mind is busy with emails, meetings, deadlines, and decisions, the body is quietly keeping track of all that stillness. Remote work has changed the rhythm of the American workday in ways that seemed positive at first. No commute means more time at home. No office means more flexibility. But for many people, remote work has also meant even more sitting. The commute may be gone, but the extra hour or two that once involved walking to a car, standing on a train platform, or moving through an office building, has often been absorbed back into laptop time. The boundaries between work and rest have softened. The kitchen table becomes the desk. The couch becomes the conference room. And without the natural interruptions that come from moving between spaces, many remote workers find themselves sitting for longer stretches than they ever did in an office. Sedentary time is not the same as a lack of exercise. You can go to the gym 3 times a week, take a weekend hike, or follow a workout routine, and still live a mostly sedentary life, if the rest of your waking hours are spent sitting. What matters is not just whether you move, but how often, and for how long you stay still. It is the uninterrupted stretches of stillness that quietly strain the joints, tighten the muscles, and slow the circulation. The body is designed for varied movement, for shifts in position, for walking, bending, reaching, and changing posture throughout the day. When that variety disappears, the body begins to adapt in ways that can feel uncomfortable over time. Even people who are active and health conscious can fall into patterns of prolonged sitting without realizing it. A morning workout, followed by 8 hours at a desk, an hour of driving, and an evening on the couch, can still leave the body feeling stiff and heavy by the end of the day. The workout helps, certainly, but it does not undo the effects of all those hours of stillness. The body needs movement sprinkled throughout the day, not just concentrated into one block. It needs reminders that it is allowed to shift, stretch, stand, and breathe, even in the middle of a busy workday. Desk-bound routines do more than make the body feel tight. They also affect mood, focus, and even sleep quality. When the body stays still for too long, energy levels can drop. The mind may feel foggy or restless, caught between being wired from screen time and tired from lack of physical engagement. Concentration becomes harder to sustain. Stress feels more intense, because the body has not had a chance to release it through movement. And at night, even though the body feels exhausted, sleep may not come easily, because the nervous system has been stuck in a state of low-grade tension all day long, without a physical outlet to help it settle. Working from home often blurs the line between being on and being off. In an office, there are natural transitions. You walk to a meeting room. You step out for lunch. You move between spaces. At home, those transitions disappear. One meeting ends, and the next begins, with nothing in between but a click of a button. Hours pass without standing. Meals are eaten at the desk. Bathroom breaks become the only interruptions. And because there is no clear signal that the workday has ended, many remote workers stay seated longer than they realize, pushing through fatigue, skipping breaks, and staying glued to their chairs because it feels easier than stopping. When movement drops, the body begins to send signals. At first, they are subtle. A tightness in the shoulders. An ache in the lower back. Eyes that feel tired and dry. Legs that feel restless or heavy. Hands that feel stiff from typing. Neck that feels sore from looking down at a screen. These signals are not random. They are the body's way of communicating that something is out of balance, that it needs attention, that it is asking for a change. But in a culture that values productivity and pushing through discomfort, these signals are often ignored or dismissed as minor annoyances that will go away on their own. Many Americans have learned to treat discomfort as normal. A sore back is just part of sitting. Tight shoulders are just part of stress. Tired eyes are just part of screen time. These sensations are so common that they stop feeling like messages and start feeling like background noise. But the body is not giving up. It keeps sending the signals, sometimes a little louder each time. And over months and years, if those signals continue to go unheard, they can turn into something harder to ignore. Chronic tightness. Persistent pain. Reduced mobility. Low energy that does not improve with rest. Over months and years, chronic sitting can contribute to a range of problems. Back pain that becomes a constant companion. Neck tension that never quite goes away. Low energy that makes even simple tasks feel effortful. Reduced mobility, where bending down or reaching overhead starts to feel stiff or difficult. These are not inevitable consequences of aging. They are consequences of stillness, of a body that has adapted to spending most of its time in one position. And while they are common, they are not permanent. The body is remarkably adaptable. When you begin to give it new signals, when you start to move in small, gentle ways throughout the day, it begins to respond. Sedentary habits rarely arrive all at once. They build quietly, through a series of small, reasonable choices that feel convenient in the moment. Ordering food instead of cooking saves time. Working through lunch means fewer interruptions. Scrolling in bed helps you unwind. Binge watching a show gives you something to look forward to after a long day. None of these choices feel harmful on their own. But over time, they add up. They create a lifestyle where movement becomes optional, something you might get to later, when there is time, when there is energy. And slowly, the body adjusts to the stillness, tightening in some places, weakening in others, quietly waiting for the chance to move again. The good news is that small, mindful movement habits can begin to shift this pattern. You do not need to overhaul your entire life. You do not need to join a gym, buy equipment, or carve out large blocks of time. You do not need to become a different person. You only need to begin noticing your body again, to offer it small moments of movement throughout the day, and to trust that even the smallest shifts can make a difference. A few stretches between meetings. A short walk in the afternoon. A pause to breathe and reset your posture. These are not grand gestures, but they are powerful ones, because they tell your body that it matters, that it is worth paying attention to, that it is allowed to feel better. This video is designed for the American remote worker and anyone with a desk-bound life. It offers 100 simple, realistic facts and ideas to gently bring more movement into your everyday routines. Not because you are broken or failing, but because you are human, living in a world that often asks you to sit still for far longer than your body was meant to. This is not about perfection. It is not about doing everything right. It is about small, kind choices, repeated over time, that help you feel a little freer, a little lighter, a little more at home in your own body. And as you listen, you are invited to rest, to let your body soften, and to trust that simply by being here, you are already taking a step towards something gentler and more sustainable. Mindful movement is different from the kind of exercise that focuses on intensity, speed, or how many calories you burn. It is not about pushing yourself harder or faster. It is not about reaching a target heart rate or completing a certain number of reps. Mindful movement is about awareness. It is about paying attention to how your body feels in this moment. How your breath moves through your chest and belly. How your shoulders rise and fall. How your weight shifts as you stand or sit. It is about moving with curiosity and care, rather than force or urgency. And in that gentle attention, something begins to shift. The body starts to feel less like a machine that needs to be managed and more like a living part of you that deserves to be heard. Even slow, gentle movements can wake up muscles that have been quiet for hours. A simple shoulder roll. A slow stretch of the arms overhead. A gentle twist of the spine. These movements might not feel dramatic, but they send signals through the body. They encourage blood flow to areas that have been sitting still. They remind joints that they are meant to move, that they have a range of motion beyond the fixed position they have been holding. And as circulation improves, as muscles begin to engage again, the body starts to feel more supported, more stable, less stiff. You do not have to move quickly or forcefully to feel the benefit. Sometimes, the slowest movements are the ones the body responds to most deeply. When movement is paired with attention, something remarkable happens. The brain begins to reconnect with parts of the body that have been ignored. While you sit at a desk, focused on a screen, many parts of your body fade into the background. Your shoulders, your hips, your feet, they are still there, still working to hold you upright, but your conscious awareness is somewhere else. Mindful movement brings your attention back. It asks you to notice what your body is doing, how it is feeling, where it might be holding tension. And as you notice, the brain starts to re-establish communication with those areas. Neurons fire. Pathways strengthen. The body begins to feel more whole, more integrated, more like one connected system instead of separate parts doing their own thing. Mindful movement gives you permission to move without judgment. You do not have to be flexible, strong, or coordinated. You do not have to compare yourself to anyone else. You do not have to look a certain way or reach a certain standard. There is no right or wrong way to stretch, no perfect form to achieve, no goal to chase other than simply feeling what it is like to move your body with kindness. This is not about performance. It is about presence. It is about being with your body as it is, not as you think it should be. And in that space of non-judgment, movement becomes easier, more natural, more like coming home to yourself rather than trying to fix or improve something that is broken. The goal is not to become a fitness athlete. The goal is not to transform your body into something unrecognizable or to push yourself to exhaustion in the name of health. The goal is much simpler and, in many ways, more profound. It is to feel more comfortable in your own skin. To feel more present in your daily life. To feel more at home inside your own body. That might sound small, but for someone who has spent years feeling disconnected, stiff, or uncomfortable, it is everything. It is the difference between moving through the day feeling like a passenger in your own life and moving through the day feeling awake, aware, and capable of responding to what your body needs. Short, frequent movement snacks throughout the day can be more effective for desk workers than a single intense workout squeezed in once in a while. A workout is valuable, certainly, but it cannot undo 8 or 10 hours of sitting. It cannot erase the tightness that builds up during long stretches of stillness. But small movements, scattered throughout the day, can interrupt those long stretches. They can give your body regular reminders that it is allowed to shift, stretch, and breathe. A 2-minute stretch between meetings. A 30-second pause to roll your shoulders. A slow walk to the kitchen for water. These moments add up. They keep the body engaged. They prevent stiffness from settling in too deeply. And over time, they can make a bigger difference than one exhausting session that leaves you too tired or sore to move again for days. Bringing awareness to posture, breathing, and small stretches can begin to undo hours of hunched shoulders and slumped spine. When you sit for a long time, the body tends to collapse forward. The shoulders round. The chest sinks. The head juts toward the screen. The breath becomes shallow. This posture is not your fault. It is a natural response to prolonged sitting and visual focus. But it can be gently reversed with simple, mindful adjustments. Sitting up a little taller. Drawing the shoulders back and down. Taking a slow, full breath that expands the belly and ribs. Stretching the arms out to the sides or overhead. These small corrections do not have to be held perfectly or maintained all day. They are simply moments of reset, small signals to the body that it is allowed to open, lengthen, and breathe more fully. Mindful movement also supports mental health in ways that go beyond the physical. When you are sitting at a desk, focused on work, your mind is often under constant cognitive demand. You are solving problems, making decisions, responding to messages, managing tasks, and keeping track of a dozen things at once. Your nervous system is working hard, and it rarely gets a break. But when you pause to move mindfully, even for just a minute or two, you give your nervous system a chance to step out of that high alert state. You shift your attention away from the screen and into your body. You breathe. You move. And in that brief pause, the nervous system can begin to settle, even just a little, which can make everything else feel more manageable. Gentle movement can help regulate stress hormones, which may leave you feeling calmer and less reactive during a busy workday. When stress builds up without a physical outlet, it can accumulate in the body, leaving you feeling tense, irritable, or overwhelmed. But movement, even slow and gentle movement, helps the body process and release some of that stored tension. It encourages the release of feel-good chemicals like endorphins and serotonin. It signals to the brain that the immediate threat has passed, that it is safe to relax. And over time, as you build a habit of moving mindfully throughout the day, you may notice that you feel less reactive to stress, less likely to snap at small frustrations, and more able to stay grounded even when things feel chaotic. When you move with awareness, your mind gets a brief vacation from problem solving and multitasking. For just a few moments, you are not trying to figure anything out. You are not planning, analyzing, or organizing. You are simply noticing. How does this stretch feel? Where is the breath moving? What sensations are present? This kind of focus is restful for the mind. It is a form of active rest, where you are still engaged, still present, but not working in the same way. And when you return to your tasks after a mindful movement break, you often find that your focus is sharper, your thinking is clearer, and your energy feels a little more steady. The break was not a distraction. It was a reset. Over time, creating a mindful movement habit can transform your relationship with your workday. Instead of feeling stuck at your desk, powerless against the stiffness and fatigue that builds up, you begin to feel like you have tools. Simple, accessible tools that you can use anytime, anywhere, to help your body feel better. You realize that you do not have to wait until the end of the day to stretch. You do not have to earn movement by finishing your to-do list. You can pause whenever you need to. You can take care of your body in the middle of your work, not as a reward or a luxury, but as a basic, kind practice that makes everything else easier. And that shift in perspective, that sense of agency, can change how the entire day feels. The most powerful mindful movement routines are the ones that are simple enough to do in whatever you are wearing. You do not need yoga pants, athletic shoes, or a special outfit. You can do them in jeans, in work clothes, in pajamas, in whatever you happen to be wearing when you notice that your body needs to move. You do not need a yoga mat, dumbbells, or fancy equipment. You do not need a gym membership or a dedicated space. You only need your body, a little bit of attention, and the willingness to pause for a moment and move. That simplicity is what makes mindful movement sustainable. It is not something you have to prepare for or schedule around. It is something you can weave into your day, quietly and easily, without disrupting anything else. And that ease, that accessibility, is what allows it to become a true habit, something you turn to naturally, not because you have to, but because it feels good. The human body is designed for varied movement. It is built to walk, reach, bend, twist, squat, stretch, and change positions often throughout the day. For most of human history, survival required constant movement. Gathering food, building shelter, carrying water, tending to animals, all of these activities kept the body engaged in a wide range of motions. The muscles, joints, and connective tissues evolved to thrive on variety, on shifting from one position to another, on using different parts of the body in different ways. But modern life, especially desk-based work, asks the body to do something it was never designed for. It asks the body to hold one position, or a very narrow range of positions, for hours at a time. And while the body is adaptable, this kind of prolonged stillness comes with consequences that many people begin to feel over time. Long hours at a desk tend to shorten the front of the body. The hip flexors, which connect the thighs to the pelvis, spend most of the day in a shortened position while you sit. Over time, they can become tight and resistant to lengthening, which can pull on the lower back and affect the way you stand and walk. The chest muscles, especially the pectorals, also tend to tighten as the shoulders round forward toward a keyboard or screen. The front of the shoulders can become tight as well, pulling the upper body into a collapsed posture. Meanwhile, the muscles of the back and neck, which are working hard to keep you upright and support your head, become overloaded. They are holding tension for hours, often without relief, and over time, that constant strain can lead to soreness, stiffness, and fatigue that lingers even after the workday ends. Many remote workers develop what is called a forward head posture. This happens when the head juts forward, toward the screen, rather than sitting balanced on top of the spine. The human head weighs about 10 to 12 pounds when it is in a neutral position, balanced directly over the shoulders. But for every inch the head moves forward, the weight that the neck and upper back have to support increases dramatically. A head that is 3 or 4 inches forward can create 30 or 40 pounds of extra strain on the muscles and joints of the neck and upper back. This posture is common in people who spend long hours looking at computers, phones, or tablets. It develops gradually, often without the person realizing it is happening, and over time, it can contribute to chronic neck pain, tension headaches, and upper back discomfort that feels difficult to shake. The wrists and hands can also become overused in desk-based work. Typing, texting, and using a mouse are repetitive motions that require the same small muscles and tendons to work over and over, often for hours at a time. The wrists may be held in awkward angles, bent upward or downward, which can place extra strain on the tendons and nerves that run through them. Over time, this repetitive strain can lead to discomfort, stiffness, tingling, or weakness in the hands and wrists. Many people do not notice the strain building until it becomes uncomfortable, because the movements feel so small and automatic. But those small movements, repeated thousands of times a day, can add up to real tension and overuse, especially when the hands and wrists are never given a chance to rest, stretch, or move in different ways. Sitting for long stretches also alters the way the glutes and core muscles support the spine. When you sit, the glutes, which are some of the largest and strongest muscles in the body, essentially turn off. They are not needed to hold you upright in a chair, so they become less active over time. This can lead to what some people call glute amnesia, where the muscles forget how to engage properly when you stand, walk, or try to use them. At the same time, the core muscles, which help stabilize the spine and pelvis, may also become less active or less coordinated. When these muscles are not working as they should, the lower back has to pick up the slack, which can lead to discomfort, instability, or a feeling that your back is always working too hard just to keep you upright. The eyes work hard too, in ways that are easy to overlook. When you stare at a screen, your eyes are constantly focusing at one fixed distance, often for hours without a break. The muscles inside the eyes, which control focus and alignment, are holding that position just like the rest of your body is holding its seated position. Over time, this can lead to eye strain, dryness, blurred vision, and headaches. The blue light from screens can also interfere with the body's natural rhythms, especially if you are working late into the evening. And because the eyes are connected to the nervous system, eye strain can contribute to overall feelings of fatigue, tension, and mental fog, even when you are not consciously aware that your eyes are tired. When the body is still for too long, circulation slows. Blood flow depends partly on movement. When you walk, the muscles in your legs act like pumps, helping to push blood back up toward the heart. When you sit for long periods, that pumping action decreases, and blood can begin to pool in the lower legs and feet. Some people notice cold hands or cold feet, even in a warm room, because circulation to the extremities has slowed. Others notice a feeling of heaviness or restlessness in the legs, a sensation that they need to move or shake their legs out, even though they have been sitting still. These are signals from the body that it needs movement, that it needs help getting blood flowing again, that it is asking for a change. Many desk-bound Americans report that they feel both wired and tired at the same time. Mentally, they are stimulated. They are processing information, responding to messages, making decisions, managing tasks. The mind is busy, sometimes frantic, jumping from one thing to the next. But physically, they feel drained. The body is stiff, heavy, and fatigued, even though it has not been moving. This contradiction can feel confusing and frustrating. It can make it hard to know what the body needs. Do you need rest, or do you need movement? The answer, often, is both. The mind needs rest from constant stimulation. The body needs movement to release the tension and stagnation that have built up. And mindful movement can offer both, because it gives the mind a break from thinking while giving the body a chance to wake up and circulate energy again. These patterns are common, especially in remote work, but they are not permanent. The body is remarkably adaptable. It responds to the signals you give it. If you spend most of your time sitting, the body adapts to sitting. But if you begin to introduce small amounts of varied movement, the body will adapt to that as well. Tight muscles can begin to lengthen. Weak muscles can begin to strengthen. Circulation can improve. Posture can shift. It does not happen overnight, and it does not require dramatic changes. It simply requires consistency, patience, and a willingness to give your body new information, new cues, new opportunities to move in ways it has been missing. Understanding where your body tends to hold tension can help you choose the most helpful mindful movements for your unique situation. Some people feel most of their discomfort in the neck and shoulders. Others feel it in the lower back or hips. Some notice tightness in the wrists and hands, or stiffness in the legs. There is no single pattern that applies to everyone. Your body's experience is shaped by your particular habits, your posture, your work setup, and the way you hold stress. Paying attention to where you feel tight, sore, or uncomfortable can guide you toward the movements that will be most useful for you. You do not have to do every stretch or every exercise. You only have to do the ones that speak to what your body is asking for. A few minutes of attention to tight areas can make the entire body feel lighter and more awake. You might spend 2 or 3 minutes gently stretching your neck and shoulders, or opening your chest, or releasing tension in your hips. And even though you are only addressing 1 or 2 areas, the effects can ripple through the whole body. When one part of the body relaxes, it often allows other parts to relax as well. When circulation improves in one area, it can improve overall. When you take a few deep breaths and move with awareness, the nervous system begins to settle, and that sense of calm can spread throughout your entire system. The body is not made up of separate, isolated parts. It is one interconnected whole, and caring for one part is a way of caring for all of it. Noticing these patterns without judgment is the first step. You are not broken. You are not failing. You are not doing something wrong. You are simply a human being living in a culture that asks you to sit in a chair for most of your waking hours. That is not natural for the body, but it is the reality of modern work, especially remote work. And rather than blaming yourself for the stiffness, the tension, or the discomfort, you can simply acknowledge that this is what happens when a body sits for long periods. It is common. It is understandable. And it is something you can begin to address, gently and kindly, with small movements, deep breaths, and a little bit of attention. You are not starting from a place of brokenness. You are starting from a place of being human, and that is more than enough. One of the easiest mindful movements you can practice at your desk is a simple posture reset. It does not require standing up or moving away from your work. It only requires a moment of attention. Begin by placing your feet flat on the floor, feeling the contact between your feet and the ground. Let your sit bones, the two bony points at the base of your pelvis, settle evenly into the chair. Imagine your spine lengthening gently upward, as if a soft thread is lifting the crown of your head toward the ceiling. Let your shoulders relax away from your ears, releasing any tension you might be holding there. This posture reset takes only a few seconds, but it sends a clear signal to your body. It reminds you that you can sit with a little more ease, a little more support, and a little less strain. And you can return to this reset as many times as you need throughout the day, whenever you notice yourself collapsing forward or tensing up. A slow neck roll, done gently and within a pain-free range, can release some of the tension that builds up from staring at screens. Begin by dropping your chin gently toward your chest, feeling a stretch along the back of your neck. Then slowly roll your head to one side, bringing your ear toward your shoulder, without forcing or pushing. Pause there for a breath. Then continue the roll, bringing your head back to center and over to the other side. Move slowly, noticing any areas that feel tight or tender, and avoid any movements that cause sharp pain. This gentle neck roll helps to release the muscles that have been holding your head in one position for too long. It encourages circulation and reminds the neck that it is allowed to move in different directions, not just forward toward the screen. Shoulder rolls are another simple movement that can help reverse the hunching posture that many remote workers adopt over time. Lift both shoulders up toward your ears, as if you are shrugging. Then roll them back, squeezing your shoulder blades together gently. Finally, let your shoulders drop down, releasing any tension as they settle. You can repeat this movement several times, moving slowly and breathing as you go. Shoulder rolls help to counteract the forward rounding that happens when you sit at a desk for long periods. They remind the muscles of your upper back and shoulders to engage, and they create a small opening in the chest, which can make breathing feel a little easier and more spacious. Interlacing your fingers and reaching your arms overhead can open the sides of your ribcage and create space for deeper breathing. Sit up tall, bring your palms together, and interlace your fingers. Turn your palms to face upward and extend your arms overhead, reaching as high as feels comfortable. Take a slow breath in, feeling your ribcage expand. Then, keeping your arms lifted, gently lean to one side, creating a long stretch along the opposite side of your body. Hold for a breath or two, then come back to center and lean to the other side. This movement stretches the muscles between your ribs, the sides of your torso, and the muscles along your spine. It also encourages fuller, deeper breaths, which can help calm the nervous system and bring a sense of ease back into your body. Seated spinal twists are a wonderful way to encourage mobility in the upper and mid-back, areas that often become stiff from sitting. Sit up tall, with your feet flat on the floor. Place your right hand on the back of your chair or on the outside of your left thigh. Inhale to lengthen your spine, and as you exhale, gently rotate your torso to the left, turning to look over your left shoulder. Hold the twist for a few breaths, keeping your spine long and your shoulders relaxed. Then slowly return to center and repeat on the other side. Spinal twists help to wring out tension that accumulates in the muscles along your spine. They also encourage movement in parts of the back that do not get much variety during a typical workday. And because twisting involves rotation, it reminds the spine that it is capable of moving in multiple directions, not just forward and back. Ankle circles under the desk are a simple way to keep blood flowing in the lower legs and reduce stiffness, especially for people who sit for long stretches. Lift one foot slightly off the floor and slowly rotate your ankle in a circular motion, first in one direction, then in the other. You can do this without anyone noticing, even during a meeting or a phone call. Repeat with the other foot. Ankle circles help to activate the muscles in the lower legs and encourage circulation, which can prevent that heavy, restless feeling that sometimes develops after hours of sitting. They are small, gentle movements, but they make a difference, especially when repeated throughout the day. Seated marches are another movement you can do without standing up. Simply lift one knee at a time, bringing your thigh up slightly off the chair, then lower it back down and lift the other knee. You can do this slowly or with a bit more energy, depending on how your body feels. Seated marches wake up the hip flexors, which spend most of the day in a shortened position while you sit. They also engage the core muscles, which help to stabilize your torso. This movement does not require much space or effort, but it brings a little bit of activity into your lower body, which can help you feel more awake and less sluggish. A simple wrist stretch can relieve tension that builds up from typing and using a mouse. Extend one arm out in front of you, palm facing forward, fingers pointing up. With your other hand, gently pull your fingers back toward your body, stretching the underside of your wrist and forearm. Hold for a few breaths, then release and repeat on the other side. You can also do the opposite stretch by pointing your fingers down and gently pressing them toward your body, stretching the top of your wrist and forearm. These stretches help to release the tightness that accumulates in the wrists and hands from repetitive motions. They are quick, easy, and can be done anytime you feel stiffness or discomfort creeping in. Opening and closing your hands into soft fists several times can also reduce stiffness in the fingers and improve circulation. Spread your fingers wide, stretching them apart, then gently curl them into a loose fist. Repeat this movement several times, slowly and mindfully. You can even add a little massage, gently rubbing the palm of one hand with the thumb of the other. This small movement helps to keep the small muscles and joints of the hands flexible and engaged. It is easy to forget about the hands, because they are always working, always typing, always holding things. But giving them a moment of attention and gentle movement can help them feel less tired and more capable. Even shifting your weight from one hip to the other and adjusting your sitting position every 20 or 30 minutes counts as mindful movement. You do not have to sit perfectly still. In fact, staying too still for too long is part of what creates stiffness and discomfort. Allowing yourself to shift, to fidget a little, to adjust your position, is a form of self-care. It gives different parts of your body a chance to rest and different muscles a chance to engage. It keeps your body from getting locked into one fixed posture. And it reminds you that movement does not have to be big or dramatic to be helpful. Small adjustments, made often, can keep your body feeling more comfortable throughout the day. Adding 3 slow, intentional breaths to any of these micro movements turns them into mini reset rituals during the workday. After you roll your shoulders or stretch your wrists, pause for a moment and take 3 deep breaths. Inhale slowly through your nose, letting your belly and chest expand. Exhale slowly through your mouth, letting your body soften. These breaths help to anchor the movement, to make it feel more intentional and more nourishing. They also give your nervous system a chance to settle, which can help you feel calmer and more focused. Breath and movement together create a simple but powerful practice that you can return to again and again, whenever you need a moment of ease. You do not have to do all of these movements at once. In fact, trying to do too much at once can feel overwhelming and can make it less likely that you will keep up the habit. Instead, choose 1 or 2 movements that feel most helpful for your body right now. Maybe your neck feels tight, so you focus on neck rolls and shoulder rolls. Maybe your wrists feel sore, so you focus on wrist stretches and hand circles. Whatever you choose, do it regularly. Repeat it throughout the day. Over time, you can add other movements, but starting small and staying consistent is what makes the practice sustainable. Setting a timer or using a gentle reminder app can help you remember to stand, stretch, or move every 30 to 60 minutes. It is easy to lose track of time when you are focused on work. Hours can pass without you realizing how long you have been sitting. A gentle reminder can interrupt that pattern and give you permission to pause, to check in with your body, and to take a moment to move. You do not have to do a full routine every time the timer goes off. Even standing up for a few seconds, taking a deep breath, and rolling your shoulders counts. The point is not to be perfect. The point is to create small, regular interruptions to the stillness, so that your body never gets stuck in one position for too long. The most important part of desk-based mindful movement is consistency. A few minutes, repeated many times throughout the day, will always be more effective than a long session that never happens. You do not need to set aside 30 minutes or an hour. You do not need to wait until you have time to do a full routine. You only need to take small moments, scattered throughout your day, to move with awareness and care. Those moments add up. Over a day, over a week, over a month, they create a new pattern, a new relationship with your body, and a new sense of ease in your desk-bound life. And that consistency, that gentle repetition, is what makes mindful movement not just a practice, but a way of living that supports you every single day. Standing up at least once every 30 to 60 minutes encourages better circulation and gives your spine a chance to decompress. When you sit, the discs in your spine are compressed by the weight of your upper body. Over time, this constant pressure can contribute to stiffness and discomfort. But when you stand, the spine lengthens, the pressure is distributed differently, and the discs have a chance to rehydrate and recover. Standing also helps blood flow return more easily from the legs back to the heart, which can reduce that heavy, sluggish feeling that builds up after long periods of sitting. You do not need to stand for a long time. Even 30 seconds of standing can make a difference. The key is frequency. Standing up regularly throughout the day keeps your body from settling too deeply into one fixed position, and it reminds your muscles and joints that they are meant to move. A simple practice that many people find helpful is stand, stretch, sip. It is easy to remember and takes only a minute or two. When you feel yourself getting stiff or notice that you have been sitting for a while, stand up. Reach your arms overhead, or stretch to the side, or roll your shoulders, whatever feels good in that moment. Then take a sip of water. This simple ritual serves multiple purposes. Standing breaks up the sitting. Stretching releases tension. And drinking water supports hydration, which is important for focus, energy, and overall well-being. Over time, this small habit can become automatic, a gentle way of caring for your body without having to think too hard about what to do or how to do it. It is simple, sustainable, and effective. Gentle marching in place beside your desk for 30 to 60 seconds can increase your heart rate slightly and wake up your legs. You do not have to march vigorously or lift your knees high. Just shift your weight from one foot to the other in a rhythmic, walking motion, letting your arms swing naturally by your sides. This small burst of movement gets your blood flowing, activates the muscles in your legs and hips, and gives your cardiovascular system a gentle nudge. It can help you feel more awake and more alert, especially during those mid-afternoon slumps when energy tends to dip. And because it only takes a minute, it fits easily into even the busiest workday. Side steps or lateral weight shifts are another way to engage the hip and leg muscles that do not get much use while sitting. Stand with your feet hip-width apart and step to the side with one foot, then bring the other foot to meet it. Step side to side several times, moving slowly and staying balanced. You can also simply shift your weight from one foot to the other without stepping, rocking gently side to side. These lateral movements activate the muscles on the sides of your hips and thighs, areas that are often neglected in forward-focused activities like walking or sitting. Adding a bit of side-to-side movement helps to create more balance and variety in how your body moves, which can support better stability and reduce the risk of stiffness or discomfort. Calf raises are an easy way to activate the lower legs and support circulation. Stand with your feet flat on the floor, then slowly lift your heels off the ground, rising up onto the balls of your feet. Hold for a moment, then lower your heels back down slowly and with control. Repeat this movement 10 to 15 times, or as many as feels comfortable. Calf raises engage the muscles in your calves, which help to pump blood back up from your feet and legs toward your heart. This can be especially helpful if you notice that your legs feel heavy or restless after sitting for a long time. And because calf raises can be done anywhere, even while brushing your teeth or waiting for coffee to brew, they are an easy movement to build into your daily routine. Wall push-ups or desk push-ups can gently strengthen the upper body without requiring floor space or traditional gym equipment. Stand a few feet away from a wall or your desk. Place your hands flat against the surface at about shoulder height, and lean forward, bending your elbows. Push yourself back to the starting position, then repeat. This movement engages the chest, shoulders, and arms, and it can help to counteract the forward collapse that happens from sitting hunched over a keyboard. Wall push-ups are much easier than floor push-ups, so they are accessible to most people, regardless of fitness level. And because they only take a minute or two, they fit easily into a short movement break. A doorway chest stretch is a simple way to open a tight chest that has been rounded forward from computer work. Stand in a doorway and place your hands or forearms on either side of the door frame, about shoulder height or slightly higher. Step 1 foot forward and lean gently into the doorway, feeling a stretch across your chest and the front of your shoulders. Hold the stretch for several slow breaths, then step back and release. This stretch helps to reverse the inward pull that happens when your shoulders round forward during long hours at a desk. It creates space across the front of your body, which can make breathing feel easier and your posture feel more open and upright. Standing side bends are another gentle movement that can relieve tension in the waist and lower back. Stand with your feet hip-width apart and reach one arm overhead. As you reach, let the opposite hand slide down the outside of your leg, bending gently to the side. You should feel a stretch along the side of your torso, from your ribs down to your hip. Hold for a breath or two, then return to center and repeat on the other side. Side bends help to stretch the muscles along the sides of your body, which can become tight from sitting in one position for too long. They also encourage movement in the spine, reminding it that it can bend and flex in multiple directions, not just forward and back. Hip circles are small, gentle movements that can help loosen the lower back and pelvic area. Stand with your feet hip-width apart and place your hands on your hips. Slowly move your hips in a circular motion, as if you are drawing a circle in the air with your pelvis. Circle in one direction for several rotations, then reverse and circle in the other direction. Hip circles help to mobilize the joints and muscles around the hips and lower back, areas that often feel stiff after long periods of sitting. The movement is gentle and fluid, and it can feel surprisingly soothing, like a massage from the inside out. Taking a slow walk down the hallway or around your home between tasks can reset both body and mind. Walking is one of the most natural and accessible forms of movement, and even a short walk can have a big impact. It gets your blood flowing, wakes up your legs, and gives your eyes a break from the screen. It also gives your mind a chance to shift gears, to step away from the focused concentration of work and into a more open, relaxed state. Many people find that their best ideas come during walks, because the mind is free to wander and make connections without the pressure of staring at a problem on a screen. Even a 2-minute walk can be enough to clear mental fog and help you return to your work with fresh energy. If you are on an audio call, pacing or standing instead of sitting can naturally increase your daily movement without scheduling extra time. Many remote workers spend hours on calls each week, and most of those calls do not require you to be seated in front of a screen. If the call is audio only, you can stand up, walk around your room, pace in the hallway, or even step outside if the weather is nice. This simple shift turns what would otherwise be more sitting time into an opportunity for movement. And because you are already on the call, it does not feel like you are adding another task to your day. You are simply moving while you work, which is one of the easiest ways to increase your overall activity level. Small movement breaks do not need to feel like workouts. They are not about pushing yourself or breaking a sweat. They are simply opportunities to remind your body that it is allowed to move. You can stand, stretch, walk, or shift your weight. You can move slowly and gently, without any pressure to perform or achieve. The goal is not to exhaust yourself. The goal is to interrupt the long stretches of stillness that contribute to stiffness, fatigue, and discomfort. And when you approach movement breaks with that mindset, with kindness and ease rather than obligation or intensity, they become something you look forward to rather than something you have to force yourself to do. Many remote workers find that a 2-minute movement break every hour improves their focus more than simply pushing through without stopping. It might seem counterintuitive. You might think that stopping to move would disrupt your workflow and make it harder to concentrate. But in reality, the opposite is often true. When you sit for too long, your focus begins to fade. Your mind wanders. You start to feel restless or foggy. But when you take a brief movement break, you give your brain a chance to reset. You step away from the task just long enough to return with fresh eyes and renewed attention. The break is not a distraction. It is a tool that helps you work more effectively and feel better while you do it. Over a full workday, these tiny breaks can add up to 20 or 30 minutes of extra movement, without ever leaving your workspace. If you stand and stretch for 2 minutes every hour during an 8-hour workday, that is 16 minutes of movement. If you add a few short walks between tasks, or march in place during a phone call, or do a quick set of calf raises while waiting for a file to load, those minutes add up even more. And while 20 or 30 minutes might not sound like much, it is significantly more than zero. It is enough to improve circulation, reduce stiffness, support mood, and remind your body that it is cared for. And because these movements are woven into your day rather than scheduled as separate workouts, they are much easier to sustain over time. They become part of how you work, not something you have to do in addition to work. And that ease, that integration, is what makes them so powerful. Mindful walking is one of the simplest ways to counteract a sedentary lifestyle, and it does not require special clothing, equipment, or a particular location. You do not need walking shoes, athletic wear, or a treadmill. You do not need to go to a park or a trail, though those places are wonderful if they are available to you. You can practice mindful walking in whatever you are wearing, wherever you are. All you need is the willingness to bring your attention to the act of walking, to notice what it feels like to move, and to let that simple awareness transform an ordinary activity into something nourishing and restorative. Mindful walking is not about speed or distance. It is about presence. It is about being fully with your body as it moves through space. A mindful walk focuses on the sensation of each step. As you walk, notice how your heel touches down first, making contact with the ground. Feel the weight of your body shift as your foot rolls from heel to midfoot to toes. Notice the push-off as your toes leave the ground and your other foot begins its own journey through the same sequence. This simple attention to the mechanics of walking brings you into the present moment. It pulls your awareness out of your head, out of the swirl of thoughts and worries, and into the direct experience of your body moving. You might also notice the rhythm of your breath as you walk, the swing of your arms, the way your spine stays upright and balanced. All of these sensations are invitations to be here, now, fully alive in this moment. You can practice mindful walking in a hallway, on a sidewalk, or in a small loop around your home. You do not need a long stretch of uninterrupted space. Even walking back and forth in a hallway or pacing slowly around a single room can be a mindful practice. The environment does not need to be beautiful or inspiring. What matters is your attention. As you walk, pay attention to your breath. Is it steady and calm, or quick and shallow? Pay attention to your posture. Are your shoulders relaxed, or are they creeping up toward your ears? Are you looking down at the ground, or are you lifting your gaze and letting your chest open? These small adjustments, made with awareness, can turn any walk into a practice of self-care and presence. Walking outdoors adds the extra benefit of fresh air, changing scenery, and natural light, all of which can support mood and sleep patterns. Sunlight, especially in the morning or early afternoon, helps to regulate your body's internal clock, which can improve your sleep quality at night. Fresh air can wake up your senses and give you a break from the recycled air of indoor spaces. And the changing scenery, even if it is just the sight of trees, clouds, or passing cars, gives your mind something to observe that is not a screen. Outdoor walking also tends to involve more varied terrain than indoor walking, which means your body gets to navigate small changes in surface and elevation, engaging muscles and balance systems that might not activate on a perfectly flat floor. Even a 5 or 10-minute walk between meetings can reduce mental fog and help you return to your work with more clarity. When you have been sitting and focusing for a long time, your brain can start to feel overloaded. Thoughts become muddled. Decision-making feels harder. Concentration starts to slip. But a short walk can reset your mental state. The movement increases blood flow to the brain. The change of environment gives your mind a break from the task at hand. And the simple act of stepping away from your desk can help you return with a fresher perspective, better focus, and a renewed sense of energy. You do not need to walk far or fast. You only need to move, to breathe, and to give yourself a few minutes of transition between one task and the next. Some remote workers build a habit of taking all phone calls while walking slowly around their home or neighborhood. This is a simple but powerful way to increase daily movement without having to schedule extra time. If you have several calls throughout the day, and each call lasts 15 or 30 minutes, those calls can add up to an hour or more of walking. You are not adding a new task to your day. You are simply changing how you do something you were already going to do. And because you are moving while you talk, you might also find that your voice sounds more energized, your thinking feels clearer, and the conversation flows more naturally. Walking and talking at the same time can feel more dynamic and less draining than sitting still and staring at a screen. Climbing stairs, if available, is a simple way to add a bit of strength and cardio without needing a gym. Stair climbing engages the large muscles of the legs, glutes, and core. It raises your heart rate and challenges your cardiovascular system more than walking on flat ground. And it does not require any special equipment or membership. If you live in a building with stairs, or if your home has a staircase, you can use it as a tool for movement. Climb up and down a few times when you take a break. Walk up the stairs more deliberately, noticing how your legs work to lift your body. Or simply choose to take the stairs instead of the elevator whenever you have the option. These small choices, repeated over time, can add up to meaningful increases in strength, endurance, and overall activity. Everyday chores can also become mindful movement if you bring your attention to how your body feels as you do them. Sweeping the floor, carrying groceries, doing laundry, washing dishes, all of these activities require movement, but they are often done on autopilot, with the mind somewhere else. What if, instead of rushing through them or resenting them, you approach them as opportunities to move with awareness? Notice how your body bends, reaches, lifts, and twists. Feel the weight of the grocery bags in your hands. Notice the rhythm of sweeping, the stretch of reaching into the washing machine, the warmth of the dishwater on your hands. These small acts of attention can transform mundane tasks into moments of presence, turning chores into a form of mindful movement that supports your body and calms your mind. Turning a short evening walk into a tech-free ritual can help signal the end of the workday and the beginning of personal time. One of the challenges of remote work is that the boundaries between work and home life can blur. Without a commute to mark the transition, it can be hard to fully step away from work mode. An evening walk, especially one where you leave your phone behind or keep it in your pocket, can become a powerful ritual of closure. It tells your mind and body that the workday is over. It gives you a chance to process the events of the day, to release any tension or stress, and to arrive at your evening feeling more present and more available for rest, connection, or whatever comes next. Over time, this ritual can become something you look forward to, a gentle anchor that helps you maintain balance in a work-from-home life. When you walk mindfully, you are training your mind to be present with your body, rather than lost in thoughts about emails or deadlines. So much of the time, the mind is elsewhere. Even when you are walking, you might be replaying a conversation, planning your next task, or worrying about something that has not happened yet. Mindful walking is a practice of coming back. Back to the body. Back to the breath. Back to the simple, immediate experience of being alive and moving. This kind of presence is not just pleasant. It is also restorative. It gives the nervous system a break from the constant mental chatter and allows you to rest, even while you are in motion. Over time, these small walking rituals can become anchors in your day, moments you look forward to rather than obligations. Instead of feeling like one more thing you have to do, walking can become a refuge, a space where you feel more like yourself, more connected to your body, and more at peace. You might find that you start to crave these walks, that you notice when you miss them, and that you return to them not because you should, but because they feel good. And when a practice feels good, when it becomes something you genuinely enjoy, it is much easier to sustain over the long term. It stops being a task and becomes a way of being, a way of caring for yourself that is woven into the fabric of your daily life. Mindful walking is gentle on the body and accessible to most people, making it one of the safest, most sustainable forms of movement for sedentary lifestyles. You do not need to be fit or flexible or strong to walk mindfully. You do not need to walk fast or far. You simply need to be willing to move at your own pace, to listen to your body, and to bring your attention to the experience of walking. It is low impact, which means it is easy on the joints and muscles. It is adaptable, which means you can do it for 5 minutes or 50, indoors or outdoors, alone or with others. And it is sustainable, which means it is something you can keep doing for the rest of your life, no matter what changes or challenges come your way. Mindful walking is not a quick fix or a temporary solution. It is a practice, a companion, and a way of returning to yourself, again and again, with every step you take. Sedentary, high-screen lifestyles can keep the nervous system in a low-grade state of stress, even when you are physically still. Your body is designed to respond to stress with movement. When something threatening happens, the nervous system activates a fight-or-flight response, flooding your body with hormones like adrenaline and cortisol, preparing you to run, fight, or react. But in modern desk-based work, the stressors are not physical. They are emails that demand urgent responses, notifications that interrupt your focus, deadlines that pile up, and the constant cognitive load of managing multiple tasks at once. Your nervous system still responds as if these are threats, but there is no physical outlet. You sit still, absorbing stress without releasing it, and over time, your body can get stuck in a state of chronic low-level activation. You might not feel panicked or terrified, but you feel tense, alert, and unable to fully relax, even when the workday is over. Shallow chest breathing is common during desk work, and it can reinforce feelings of anxiety, urgency, or mental overload. When you are focused on a screen, your breath often becomes short and shallow, coming from the upper chest rather than the belly. This kind of breathing is sometimes called stress breathing, because it is the pattern your body uses when it is in fight or flight mode. The problem is that shallow breathing sends a signal to your brain that something is wrong, that you need to stay on alert. And the more you breathe this way, the more your nervous system stays activated, even if there is no real danger. You might not notice it happening, because it is so automatic, but over hours and days, this pattern of breathing can leave you feeling more anxious, more rushed, and more overwhelmed than the situation actually requires. Mindful movement pairs especially well with slower, deeper breathing that uses the diaphragm and expands the belly and ribs. The diaphragm is a large muscle at the base of your lungs, and when you breathe deeply, it contracts and moves downward, creating space for your lungs to fill with air. This kind of breathing is sometimes called belly breathing or diaphragmatic breathing, and it sends a very different signal to your nervous system. It tells your brain that you are safe, that there is no immediate threat, and that it is okay to relax. When you combine this kind of breathing with gentle movement, stretching your arms overhead or rolling your shoulders while taking slow, full breaths, you give your body two powerful cues at once. Movement releases physical tension, and deep breathing calms the nervous system. Together, they create a state of ease that is hard to achieve when you are sitting still and breathing shallowly. A simple practice you can try anytime is the 4-4-6 breath. Inhale slowly through your nose for a count of 4, feeling your belly and chest expand. Pause and hold your breath gently for a count of 4, without straining. Then exhale slowly through your mouth for a count of 6, letting your body soften and release. As you breathe, notice how your body feels. Does your chest open a little more on the inhale? Do your shoulders drop on the exhale? Does your mind quiet, even just slightly? This pattern of breathing, with a longer exhale than inhale, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, which is responsible for rest, digestion, and recovery. It is the opposite of the stress response, and it can help you feel calmer and more grounded in just a few breaths. When you combine gentle movement with smooth, unforced breathing, you send a signal of safety to your nervous system. Your body is always listening to the signals you give it. When you move gently, stretch slowly, and breathe deeply, you are telling your body that everything is okay, that there is no danger, that it is safe to let go of tension and rest. This is not just a metaphor. It is a real, physiological process. Your nervous system has two branches, the sympathetic, which activates the stress response, and the parasympathetic, which activates the rest and digest response. Most of the time, when you are working, the sympathetic branch is more active. But when you pause to move and breathe with awareness, you can tip the balance toward the parasympathetic branch, helping your body shift out of stress mode and into a more restful, balanced state. This signal encourages your body to shift out of stress mode and into a state where healing, digestion, and restoration can happen. When the parasympathetic nervous system is active, your heart rate slows, your blood pressure drops, your digestion improves, and your immune system functions more effectively. Your mind also becomes clearer and calmer. You are better able to think, to make decisions, and to respond to challenges without feeling overwhelmed. All of this happens naturally when you give your body the right cues. You do not have to force it. You simply have to create the conditions, through gentle movement and deep breathing, and your body will do the rest. Many people notice that their thoughts feel less overwhelming after just a few minutes of combining breath and movement. The mental chatter that was so loud and insistent a moment ago begins to quiet. The worries that felt so urgent start to feel more manageable. The overwhelming to-do list does not disappear, but it stops feeling quite so crushing. This is not because the external circumstances have changed. It is because your internal state has shifted. Your nervous system has downshifted. Your body has released some of its tension. And in that calmer state, you are able to see your situation more clearly, with less distortion from stress and anxiety. You have not solved the problem, but you have given yourself the space to respond to it with more clarity and more calm. Mindful movement can become a way to process the emotional load of remote work, screen fatigue, social isolation, constant notifications, the blurred boundaries between work and home. All of these create an emotional strain that is not always visible but is deeply felt. Movement gives you a way to discharge some of that strain. It allows the body to release what it has been holding. It gives the emotions a physical outlet, so they do not just build up inside with no way out. And because movement is something you can do anytime, anywhere, it becomes a tool you can reach for whenever the emotional weight of work starts to feel too heavy. You do not need to talk to anyone or explain anything. You simply move, breathe, and let your body do what it knows how to do. Creating a short movement and breathing ritual before or after difficult tasks can help you recover more quickly from mental strain. If you know you have a challenging meeting coming up, or a difficult email to write, or a project that feels overwhelming, you can prepare your body and mind by taking 2 or 3 minutes to move and breathe. Stretch your arms, roll your shoulders, take a few deep breaths, and remind your nervous system that you are safe. After the task is done, you can do the same thing. Move, breathe, and release the tension that built up during the challenge. These small rituals help you recover more quickly, so that stress does not accumulate throughout the day. Instead of carrying tension from one task to the next, you give yourself a chance to reset, over and over, so that each task can be met with a little more ease and a little more presence. Over time, your body can learn to associate certain stretches or movements with the feeling of calm, making it easier to relax on demand. This is a form of conditioning. Just as your body has learned to tense up in response to stress, it can also learn to relax in response to specific cues. If you consistently pair a particular stretch, like a doorway chest opener or a seated spinal twist, with slow, deep breathing and a sense of ease, your body will begin to recognize that movement as a signal to let go. Eventually, you will be able to do that stretch and feel an almost immediate sense of calm, because your nervous system has learned that this is what comes next. This is not magic. It is simply the way the body and brain work together, building associations and patterns that can support your well-being. This mind-body connection is not mystical. It is a practical way of working with your nervous system using simple physical cues. You are not trying to transcend your body or escape into some abstract spiritual realm. You are working directly with the physical systems that regulate stress, tension, and relaxation. You are using movement to shift your physiology. You are using breath to calm your nervous system. And you are doing it in a way that is grounded, accessible, and available to you anytime you need it. This is embodied self-care, and it is one of the most powerful tools you have for managing the demands of a sedentary, screen-heavy, remote work lifestyle. When your nervous system feels safer and more regulated, it is often easier to make other healthy choices. When you are chronically stressed, everything feels harder. It is harder to get to bed on time, harder to step away from screens, harder to choose a healthy meal, harder to be patient with yourself or others. But when your nervous system is more balanced, when you are not constantly running on stress hormones, those choices become easier. You have more capacity. You have more clarity. You have more energy to care for yourself in the ways that matter. And so the practice of mindful movement and breath is not just about feeling better in the moment. It is about creating a foundation of calm and regulation that supports every other aspect of your life, making it easier to live in a way that feels aligned with what you truly need and value. The most effective mindful movement routines fit into the actual structure of American remote workdays, not idealized schedules that no one can maintain. It is easy to imagine a perfect morning where you wake up early, do a full yoga session, eat a healthy breakfast, and start work feeling centered and energized. But for most people, that ideal does not match reality. There are emails waiting before you even get out of bed. There are meetings that start too early. There are interruptions, distractions, and unexpected demands that throw off even the best laid plans. The key to building a sustainable movement practice is not to aim for perfection. It is to work with the life you actually have, not the life you wish you had. It is to find small, realistic ways to move that fit into the cracks and pauses of your real workday, not some imagined version of it that exists only in your mind. A practical approach is to pair movement with existing habits. You already have routines and patterns in your day. You already take Zoom calls, check your inbox, eat lunch, and move between tasks. Instead of trying to add movement as a separate, standalone activity, attach it to something you are already doing. Stretch after each Zoom call, taking just 1 or 2 minutes to roll your shoulders or reach your arms overhead before the next meeting starts. Take 3 deep breaths before opening your inbox, giving yourself a moment of calm before diving into whatever is waiting there. Walk during one break every afternoon, even if it is just a short loop around your home or a few minutes outside. These pairings make movement feel less like an obligation and more like a natural extension of what you are already doing. And because they are tied to existing habits, they are much easier to remember and sustain over time. You can think of movement as bookends for your day. Slow stretches in the morning, before you sit down at your desk, can help your body wake up and prepare for the hours of sitting ahead. You do not need a long routine. Even 5 minutes of gentle stretching, rolling out your neck and shoulders, reaching your arms overhead, and moving your spine in a few different directions, can make a noticeable difference in how your body feels throughout the day. In the evening, after you finish work, a few minutes of gentle unwinding can help signal to your body that the workday is over. A slow walk, some light stretching, or a few minutes of deep breathing can help you transition from work mode to rest mode, releasing the tension that built up during the day and preparing your body and mind for a more peaceful evening. Using visual cues can also help remind you to move between tasks. If you leave a yoga mat rolled up in the corner of your workspace, you will see it throughout the day, and it will remind you that movement is an option. If you keep a resistance band on your desk or a small set of weights nearby, those objects become gentle nudges to take a movement break. Visual cues work because they catch your attention in moments when you might otherwise forget. They do not require willpower or discipline. They simply make it easier to remember that movement is available to you anytime you are ready to pause and take care of your body. Many remote workers find that blocking movement appointments into their digital calendar increases the chance they will actually follow through. If you treat movement like a meeting, giving it a specific time slot in your day, it becomes something you plan for rather than something you hope to squeeze in if there is time. You can schedule a 5-minute stretch break at 10 in the morning, a 10-minute walk at 1 in the afternoon, and a few minutes of evening stretching at 5:30. When the notification pops up on your screen, it serves as a reminder and a permission slip. You are not interrupting your work. You are honoring a commitment you made to yourself, and that commitment is just as important as any meeting or deadline. Starting with just 5 minutes in the morning and 5 in the afternoon can be less intimidating than trying to jump into a long, intense routine. 10 minutes a day sounds manageable. It does not feel like a huge time commitment, and it does not require a lot of energy or motivation. But those 10 minutes, repeated every day, add up over time. They create a habit. They build a relationship with movement. And once the habit is established, it becomes easier to expand if you want to. You might find that 5 minutes feels good, and you naturally want to stretch it to 7 or 10. Or you might find that 5 minutes is exactly right, and you keep it there. Either way, starting small makes it much more likely that you will stick with it, because the barrier to entry is so low. Tracking how you feel can also reinforce your motivation to keep moving regularly. You do not need to track steps or calories or heart rate. You can simply notice, at the end of the day or the end of the week, how your body feels. Do you feel less stiff? Is your neck less sore? Are you sleeping a little better? Is your focus sharper? Is your mood more stable? These small improvements are the real rewards of mindful movement, and when you notice them, they become powerful motivators to continue. You are not moving because you should, or because someone told you to, or because you are trying to fix something that is broken. You are moving because it feels good, because it helps, and because you deserve to feel comfortable in your own body. It is normal to miss days. Life happens. Work gets busy. You get sick, or tired, or overwhelmed. There will be days when you do not move, days when you forget, days when you choose rest over activity. And that is okay. Mindful movement is a long-term relationship with your body, not an all-or-nothing challenge. You do not lose your progress if you miss a day or a week. You simply return when you are ready. There is no judgment, no failure, no starting over from scratch. You are not earning points or proving yourself. You are simply caring for your body, as best you can, with whatever capacity you have in any given moment. And some days, that care looks like movement. Other days, it looks like rest. Both are valid. Both are part of a balanced, sustainable approach to living in a body. Over weeks and months, small, consistent changes can add up to a body that feels freer, a mind that feels clearer, and a workday that feels less draining. You will not notice the shift all at once. It will be gradual, almost invisible at first. But one day, you will realize that your back does not hurt as much as it used to. You will notice that you can sit for an hour without feeling stiff. You will find that you have more energy in the afternoon, that your focus holds longer, that your mood feels more stable. These are the quiet rewards of mindful movement. They do not come with fanfare or dramatic transformation. They come with steady, patient care, repeated over time, until one day you realize that something has changed, and the change feels like coming home to yourself. Your worth is not measured by how many steps you take or how perfect your posture looks. Mindful movement is about care, not punishment. It is not about forcing your body into some ideal shape or chasing a number on a fitness tracker. It is about listening to what your body needs and responding with kindness. It is about noticing when you are tired and giving yourself permission to rest. It is about noticing when you are stiff and giving yourself permission to move. It is about treating your body like a friend, not an enemy, like something worthy of attention and care, not something that needs to be controlled or fixed. And when you approach movement from that place of kindness, it stops feeling like a chore and starts feeling like a gift. As a remote worker or desk-bound person in America, you have unique challenges. You are navigating a work culture that often values productivity over well-being. You are sitting for long hours in front of screens. You are managing the blurred boundaries between work and home. You are dealing with isolation, screen fatigue, and the constant pull of notifications. These are real challenges, and they are not your fault. But you also have unique flexibility. You can take a break whenever you need to. You can stand up in the middle of a meeting if your back hurts. You can walk while you are on a phone call. You can stretch between tasks without anyone judging you. You have the freedom to sprinkle movement into your day in small, meaningful ways, and that freedom is a gift. It is an opportunity to care for yourself in ways that might not be possible in a traditional office setting. Every time you choose to notice your body, to move gently, and to breathe with awareness, you are voting for a life that is less sedentary, more present, and more kind to yourself. Every stretch, every deep breath, every moment of attention is a small act of care. And those small acts add up. They shape your day, your week, your year. They shape the way you feel in your body and the way you move through the world. They remind you that you have agency, that you have choice, and that you are worth caring for. You do not have to wait until you have more time, more energy, or more motivation. You can start now, right where you are, with whatever you have. And with each small choice, you are building a life that feels a little more comfortable, a little more spacious, and a little more aligned with the care and kindness you deserve.